Hi there and welcome back to History of Fleetwood Mac. I'm Anita, and today we're going to go into Trouble in Shangri-La. Now what's funny is that when I wrapped up my last video, which was Enchanted era stuff, which was 1998, kind of going into 99 with some of the items, and some of the items that I still have left, I like to swap out my records on display here, usually what I'm wearing. And oddly enough, I didn't realize that both my record and my shirt were matching Trouble in Shangri-La, and that I was thinking to go into it. So this time I think I'm just going to stick with it, leave everything the way it is, not swap it out. But I am going to make the Trouble in Shangri-La era into two videos because I didn't realize I had quite so much left. I really, for some reason, thought I was going to go straight from Enchanted right into Say You Will, just completely skipping the 2001 era. So, without further ado, I'm going to start off with some kind of lingering pieces that I had left here from the last video. And this one came out in 1999 as well. And this is a real oddball record CD. This is Jesse Camp, who had his 15 Minutes of Fame on MTV's something or other, Big Brother, Apartment, I don't even remember. Sweet kid, I guess. He had a sweet disposition, kind of a little hippie kid and stuff. And he was granted by MTV or given the monies to, I guess he wanted to be in a band or something like that. And Stevie Nicks came and guested on the album, which was just really weird. And I believe the song is My Little Savior. But the name of the album is Jesse and the 8th Street Kids. He definitely had like 2 minutes of fame after this. And I don't remember how he got in touch with Stevie, but it does seem like he had mentioned how much he liked her, and somebody had done it for him and gotten in touch with her. So, My Little Savior, I can't even read it, but I'm pretty sure that that's the song. It's been years since I've listened to it. It's cute, But yeah, it's one of those ones that you easily forget. And I don't want to say not because it's not memorable. It's one you easily forget. There wasn't much life afterwards. Steve was in between two big projects. So we had, like I said, 1998's Enchanted, and then we had 2001's Trouble in Shangri-La. So, it's kind of a big deal. So this kind of just slipped through the cracks. And this album really didn't go anywhere, of course. I think still probably a lot of people don't even realize that Stevie is maybe a contribution to this album. So one of those little weird gems that, if you can find or check it out or find it on YouTube, that little song. So that was that. This also came out in the year 2000, and you've seen several of the ones that I have before. This was a string quartet tribute to Fleetwood Mac. And this was mostly all of rumors. In fact, rumors from start to finish, pretty much. No photos or anything like that. Just, again, an easy listening, string quartet. What have I had now? I've had everything. I've had, like, guitars, and I've had vocals, and now a string quartet. I think, again, when I get into the LPs, there's a lullaby one. There's no, I think there's a CD for that, but I don't have that one. And there's a sticker that was on the plastic, which I kept, which I thought was funny. File and Fleetwood Mac bin. Yes, indeed. It says right there it's Fleetwood Mac, so of course you'd file it in Fleetwood Mac, but I digress. So that was just another little have to add to the collection. As you've seen, of weird little things that I have and keep and find. Next up, we have in the studio. These are neat. These are like the CD versions of the bootlegs, if you will. And this is Fleetwood Mac 25th anniversary. Aired the week of July 10th, 2000. And I think, again, it's just another interview with Mick. Unfortunately, this just came in the envelope. I don't believe there was any hype, or if you recall, I had shown you some a 2-page part that came with a radio interview with Lindsey Buckingham. And if this had any paperwork, it might be in a folder, which I'm actually going to maybe start those next anyway. Usually I try to have it out with the C, but I don't think this did come with any paperwork. I think it came just like this. But a neat, radio interview. Technically a bootleg, but it's really not, because, I mean, these were distributed by Warner, what does this one say? Sorry. Windstar Radio Services. It has all the hack marks of being a legit thing. And, produced by Windstar Radio Services for radio play, not for sale, but not bootleg, because they were proper radio shows. They were either pre-recorded or done live and then recorded onto CD for somebody else to, another radio station to maybe purchase and play or something. So these are fun to come by. So there's that. Next up, again, a 2000 release was this little odd bird that came out. Many of you remember Stevie Nicks, the Divine Stevie Nicks, and it just popped up out of nowhere with no real explanation as to why. Not that there's a problem with that. It was put up by EMI Plus. It was a European CD compilation, but it was certainly prevalent in the United States. And what I find very funny is that it's virtually all selections from Wild Heart and Other Side of the Mirror. There's nothing in between at all. It's all only those. So I think it's just kind of odd that, those are the two chosen albums to take tracks from. So you can't call it the greatest hits. I mean, it's certainly greatest songs, some of the greatest songs off those two albums, but only off of Wild Heart and The Other Side of the Mirror. And then EMI Plus. This one got a little damage. I believe water damage. It's kind of got some rippling. Could be age, but I think it might have gotten a little bit of damage. This was a great CD compilation, though, when it came out, because it was just an odd mix. But like I said, I don't remember any fanfare. I've never seen, in all my scrapbooks, I have no paperwork or like any, due out soon, the Divine Stevie Nicks or anything like that. No ephemera showing, little posters or postcards about this item coming out. It's just a weird little CD that popped up in 2000 with a great photo. That specific one, I don't believe had been seen. Of course, it's so hard to tell because most of these shots were so up close with Stevie. But so that was a real cool little item. As was this. This one, again, I think, hard to say. I don't think this was oh, hey, look at that. One of my missing discs. I don't think this is a bootleg. I don't remember if it shows up in Discogs as one, but this was found at the record store. And this is called the Golden Collection 2000 Fleetwood Mac. And again, with the barcode and all the information back here, it looks pretty legit to me. Strange, weird, cyberpunk almost looking, very 2000. CD and such. They've taken the liberty of showing all the records as much as they can. Not that a bootleg company couldn't do the same, but yeah, again, one of those weird little compilations that showed up out of nowhere. No mixes or anything like that. Nothing is unique or different. This says EMI and this says UK. But it has all rights reserved and such. So I think this is a legitimate release. And I don't remember I really don't remember where I came across this. Just record store, I would imagine. So there's that one. Then we have, we can't get into, well, maybe we're going to wait, actually. We'll leave that as the last one. Next up, we had Sweet November with the Stevie contribution of Touch by an Angel. This actually is an oddly good soundtrack. This really grew on me. This had a couple, there was, started with a singer that my friend really liked called Amanda Ghost with that song Cellophane. Great song. Enya, I love her. Stevie Nicks, Katie Lang. I actually really like this song. And then I think it was Tegan and Sarah, My Number. Tegan and Sarah, I've discovered over the years, just have a real, they're super in or they're super out. They just get right to that plateau of fame and then kind of peter out again. But I remember getting the CD, and of course I got it just for the Stevie. I think I've seen the movie, but I can't even think of anything prominent about it. But this CD ended up being pretty darn good. Pretty darn good collection of music. So we had Keanu. Yeah, so nothing about Stevie in here. And the beautiful Charlize, as my ex-husband would say, his favorite actress, he loves her. Charlize Theron, I think that's how you say it. I think I've seen the movie, maybe, but I don't really remember. But yeah, so that was a really cool little song that kept us going. That one came out in 2001. So I don't know if that was before, during, or right after Trouble in Shangri-La came out. Next up, we have this one. This is super obscure. This says here, promo only, and it is a promo. I got it for like $10 or $15. It is put out by BMG, who is one of those kind of a publishing company. Well, they're a publishing company, but they've also struck me, and I believe they're one of the people kind of like Columbia House, where, send you 10 CDs for a penny or something along those lines. People my age will know what that means. And this was a really neat CD, and of course I was attracted to it immediately for Fleetwood Mac. If you look on the back, every single song is Christine McVie's. Every single one. And this was 2000, so nobody had sold their catalog yet. I'm pretty sure Chris hadn't sold hers yet. Pretty sure. Because she might have been the first, and it might have been the case. Maybe I, should have done maybe a little bit more research, but I don't think so. And it's great. Again, it's a great collection of her music, but I mean, The Chain is on here, Hold Me. So, I mean, it's, contributing vocals with Christine and Lindsay, but it's all Christine songs, if you will. No Stevie songs on here. Funny enough, I play it. I like it a lot, so yay me. I don't know where the CD is right now. And if you've heard me say 300 times as I'm going through the CD collection, I'm re-putting it back together. So, it's given me the opportunity to find what I'm missing. And, yeah. So no pictures, just a little write-up about her. Really about Fleetwood Mac, but of course concentrating on Christine. But I have seen the CD go for upwards, $60 is about the minimum. And, if you are collecting CDs, if you're collecting Fleetwood Mac, or you're especially fond of Christine, I would keep an eye out for this. If you find it for anything less, it's a big win. I don't see it in record stores much. It's pretty obscure to me even, and just a real odd Fleetwood Mac compilation, in my opinion. So we'll wrap up this video before we get in directly to Trouble in Shangri-La with Destiny's Child and Bootylicious. And the reason I saved this for last is because it's the perfect literal intro into Trouble in Shangri-La. Because as we all know, Stevie Nicks would often do her pre-show startup with this playing. And the CD, I guess they had an extra Beyonce. Not a big fan, so probably I'll look at that thing. Probably somebody gave it to me. But this is the Bootylicious CD single with 5 different versions. And you can't beat the song with the Edge of 17 riff and the video with Stevie Nicks joining in, which was great fun. And yeah, this was, remember back in the day when Beyonce was completely likable. I don't dislike her now. I just think I've seen enough of her for a while. Like, just give us a rest and, continue being epic, because she's pretty awesome. But kind of just tired about hearing about her every 10 minutes or so in media. That doesn't mean to be snarky. I don't mean to be, but I just remember them being so cool here. And I was like, oh my God, another Beyonce thing or whatever. I miss the other girls. I miss them being a group like this. But this sure was fun, having this song opening at all Stevie Nicks concerts during Trouble in Shangri-La. No, I guess most all. So that will be my little lead in, and I'll be right back with the second video for, whenever you'll see it. These will be spaced apart, but for me, I'm making them back to back. So thank you so much for joining me right now at this one, and we'll see you next time. Good night. Bye-bye.